Most of us have glucose spikes on a daily basis, and we don't even know it. But these spikes are creating symptoms: fatigue, cravings for sugar and chocolate and cookies, not sleeping very well, inflammation, hormonal issues like PCOS or difficult menopause. Every glucose spike also inches us closer and closer to developing type 2 diabetes.
And that's exactly what most people are missing. Not motivation, not the right diet, not more willpower, just one hormone, quietly working against them after every single meal. You've stayed disciplined, cut back, tried harder, and the cravings still come. That's not failure. That's an insulin spike doing exactly what it's designed to do. But here's what changes everything. A biochemist spent years inside hundreds of clinical studies and found 5 surprisingly simple ways to flatten that spike. No fasting, no extreme diets. Just 5 shifts that work with your biology, and one of them you can do before your very next meal. Let's get into them.
Hack number 1 is eating your food in the right order.
Hack number 1, eat in the right order. Same meal, completely different outcome, just based on the order you eat it. When you eat carbs first, pasta, rice, bread.
Scientific studies have shown us that if we eat the elements of a meal in a particular order, we can reduce the glucose spike of that meal by up to 75%.
Glucose floods your bloodstream fast. Your pancreas fires a wave of insulin. An hour later, you're tired, foggy, and hungry again. Now flip it. Veggies first, protein and fat next, carbs last. The glucose goddess found this one sequence reduces the glucose spike of the same meal by up to 75%. The science: fiber from vegetables forms a viscous mesh along your intestinal wall, physically slowing glucose absorption before the carbs even arrive. Same food, same calories, completely different hormonal response. But what if you can't always separate your meal like that? Hack number 2 is even simpler.
Hack number 2. Hack number 2 builds on the same principles as hack number 1, but is slightly different. Hack number 2 asks you to add a veggie starter to the beginning of your meals.
Hack number 2, add a veggie starter before every meal. Don't restructure your plate. Just add one thing before you eat. A small salad, some cucumber slices, a few cherry tomatoes, anything with fiber, even with dressing on top. That's the whole hack. When fiber reaches your gut before carbohydrates do, it slows gastric emptying. The rate food moves from your stomach into your bloodstream. Slower emptying, slower glucose, gentler insulin rise. Aim for vegetables to be about 30% of your meal volume. That's where the effect becomes clinically meaningful.
Actually, there's some really good clinical trials showing us that 1 tablespoon of vinegar in a tall glass of water before a meal can reduce the glucose spike of that meal by up to 30%.
Hack number 3, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar before a meal. This one sounds almost too simple to be real, but the clinical trials are surprisingly solid. 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted in a tall glass of water, drunk before a meal containing carbs, can reduce the glucose spike of that meal by up to 30%. Without changing a single thing you eat. Here's the science. Vinegar contains acetic acid. Acetic acid temporarily inhibits amylase, the enzyme that breaks starch into glucose. It also slows gastric emptying, buying your body more time to process incoming glucose steadily instead of all at once. The result, a flatter glucose curve, a gentler insulin response, less fat storage, less crash, less craving. Apple cider vinegar works. So does white wine vinegar or rice vinegar. Just avoid thick balsamic glaze. It contains sugar and cancels the effect. And if you hate the taste, use it as a dressing on your veggie starter.
And here's the hack. After 1 meal of your day, use your muscles for 10 minutes. Very simply. Within 90 minutes after the end of your meal, move, get up, go for a 10-minute walk. You can clean your apartment, you can walk your dog, you can do your laundry, you can do the dishes. Yes, that counts.
Hack number 4, Move for 10 minutes after you eat. Every muscle cell runs on glucose. When muscles contract, they pull glucose directly out of your bloodstream. So movement after eating isn't just good for you in general. It's actively lowering your glucose while it's trying to spike. Hack number 5. Never eat carbs alone. When carbs arrive in your gut without protein, fat, or fiber, enzymes called amylases break them into glucose almost instantly. Concentrated glucose rush, insulin surge, then crash. That crash is the craving, not willpower.
Do instead is add some clothing to them, like protein, fat, and fiber, to reduce how quickly the glucose in those carbs arrives into our bloodstream.
The glucose goddess calls the fix clothing your carbs. Protein slows gastric emptying and triggers GLP-1, your satiety hormone. Greek yogurt with your toast, almonds with your cookie, chicken and veggies in your pasta. You don't have to give up what you love, just don't let carbs show up alone. You don't need to do all 5 perfectly. You don't need to start with a complete overhaul. Pick one. Try it for 3 days. Notice how you feel. When glucose steadies, cravings get quieter, energy evens out. The roller coaster slows down, and your body starts feeling like something you can trust again. Here's your one action for right now. At your next meal, before you eat anything, start with 3 bites of whatever vegetable is available. Then eat the rest normally. That single shift starts changing how your body responds to every meal that follows. Which of these 5 hacks are you trying first? Drop it in the comments. Writing it down makes you 3 times more likely to follow through. You've been fighting your body. What if you just worked with it instead? That shift changes everything.